Hello and welcome back to the channel. Well, they are wrapping up things with the Kyle Rittenhouse case, and we have Judge Good Old Boy Network, who has made it abundantly clear that he has no intentions of making this young man suffer in any way. I would think that this was his grandson, the way he is behaving. And this stuff plays out on a world stage. People see it here in the U.S., around the country, and around the world. And no one thinks that there's anything wrong with this. Of course, when I say no one thinks there's anything wrong with this, I'm talking about the system. Because there are a lot of people who know that there is definitely something playing out right before our eyes that is undeniably unfair. Okay? Anyway, I want you to take a listen at this audio, this report concerning this case. We already know which direction it is going. No one should be shocked when this young man walks free. But anyway, taking a listen at this, and then I will be right back.
This city on Lake Michigan was quiet, calm and peaceful on Sunday, and many residents wanted to remain that way as closing arguments in the trial of Kyle Rittenhouse get underway Monday.
Monday is coming, so, it's kind of a little nervous, said Kenosha resident Mike Lipp, 35.
Wisconsin has dispatched 500 National Guard troops, and hundreds of nearby police officers will also be available as a precaution to ensure public safety during the conclusion of the trial. But the increased attention and the additional presence of law enforcement have taken a toll on the city, which isn't as vibrant as it once was, said downtown resident Max Lewis. It's affected the energy of the city in a negative way. It's not the same. Everyone is trying to avoid the situation as well as keep an eye out on the situation, Lewis said. We're a little dismayed by the situation. This case should have been cut and dry. You kill 2 people in the street, you get punished for it, end of story. Rittenhouse, 18, is charged with reckless homicide, intentional homicide, and attempted intentional homicide after he shot 2 men and wounded a third during a night of protest and civil unrest in Kenosha in August 2020. The unrest was a response to the shooting of Jacob Blake by a Kenosha police officer after a domestic disturbance. Blake was paralyzed from the waist down.
Kenosha is ready to move on, Patrick Roberts, the pastor of First Baptist Church, said before his sermon Sunday. Everybody has been calm, and the community understands that it needs to heal. Blake's family feels the same but wants justice for the people Rittenhouse shot and killed. Well, I think very much they want to get this behind them, said Justin Blake, 52, Jacob Blake's uncle. Most of the people believe he shouldn't have been here with this weapon. Most of the people seem as though they want a conviction. He added, for the Blake family, it'll be a small token of victory, because these people were gathered around after coming from Jacob Blake's rally. Since last summer, residents say, life has largely returned to normal in the city of 100,000 or so. Around town Sunday, most of the streets were empty and not many people were out, perhaps because of the inclement weather and the cold. However, one thing is clear, Kenosha residents are ready to put the past behind them and start anew. I would say Kenosha is doing pretty good. Everyone understands what's going on. Obviously, it's unfortunate circumstances that led to this, but I think everyone is waiting for a conclusion to get past this, said Mark Amburn, 59, of neighboring Pleasant Prairie. John Eason, an assistant sociology professor at the University of Wisconsin-Madison, said closing arguments and the verdict will be a pivotal moment for America. I think the mood in Wisconsin, not just Kenosha, is that they're over the whole racial awakening. All signs are this is going to be the case that vindicates white people, Eason said, adding, if the peak of the country's social justice reckoning was George Floyd, then this is the pendulum swinging back. This is the tipping point back. The Blake family, too, believes the trial has national implications. It's about the state of Wisconsin and the nation, Justin Blake said. Either way, this case could set a precedent about gun rights. As the trial nears the end, Wisconsin government. Tony Evers is asking visitors to stay away from Kenosha. I urge folks who are otherwise not from the area to please respect the community by reconsidering any plans to travel there, he said in a statement. The Kenosha community has been strong, resilient, and has come together through incredibly difficult times these past 2 years, and that healing is still ongoing. Roberts said in his sermon that it's time for the community to come together. God responds to cries. So in order for the community of Kenosha to heal, we have to cry out in our prayers to God, he said. We know what's going on, we see the news, we live here. Turn away from bad conduct, bad character. Turn away from evil, Kenosha, especially at night.
Okay, y'all, so it goes without saying that if that young man were Trayvon Martin or Mike Brown or Tamir Rice leaning over Judge Good Old Boy Network's shoulder, we all know that he wouldn't have that at all. He'd say, sit down. He'd tell the young man to sit down, right? And the treatment that he's giving this young man, it wouldn't be given if it were any of these black young males, right? You're lying to yourself if you think the treatment would be the same. Take a look at that judge's face. Do you think he would have the same amount of care and concern if that were a young black male who had that high-powered weapon underage where he traveled to another state? Now, his mom was talking about the fact that it was his life or theirs. That's what she was saying, right? But the part that she doesn't want to deal with is that he shouldn't have been there in the first place. He wasn't even legally allowed to have or carry that weapon. He should not have traveled there. He put himself in danger. He put himself in that situation. Nobody stalked him like they stalked Trayvon Martin, but yet America was rejoicing when George Zimmerman got off. That's because America suffers from Wetico. They don't even realize sometimes. It's almost as if they don't realize that they're not being fair, or they just don't care. And when I say America, I'm talking about the system that allows this to happen. Because we know not every American agrees with all of these constant injustices. Not all Americans agree with that. You have a whole lot of them that do, but not all. You see, I'm talking about a system that allows this stuff to go on century after century because they suffer. The system and those that run and operate the system suffer from the disease called Wetico. They have no compassion for others. They have no concern for others. They don't have any connection to fairness, you see. So we all know that if Trayvon Martin was the young man in this situation right here, where Trayvon Martin had the gun, he traveled to another state, age 17, shot and killed 2 people and injured another with an illegal gun. We all know that judge would not have been yelling at the prosecutors and threatening the prosecutors and all of this kind of stuff. We all know that. If you believe that things would have been the same, whether the young man was black or white, you just lying to yourself. You're not kidding yourself. You are outright lying to yourself. You are in denial. You are not a person who is honest. You're very untruthful, and you probably suffer from the disease called Wetico. Go look it up. Anyway, we all know how this case is going to go. This young man right now is a national doggone hero, and y'all know it. He is a national hero. But let me tell y'all what's going to happen here. This is going to make other young men that look like him, because not all young men can pull this off. That's going to make them feel like they can do that. So let me ask y'all this. Those of you who feel like Kyle Rittenhouse or Rittenhouse, whatever, was within his rights to get an illegal gun, go to a protest with that illegal gun, being underage, not even licensed or permitted to carry that gun, if you think that what he did is okay and that any young man his age, regardless to their color or race or anything, can do this, I want you to raise your hand in the comment section. Do you think that this is okay? If this is okay, do you also say that it's okay that any Any black boy can do the same thing. Just get a gun and go shoot and kill 2 people and injure another and say it was self-defense. In the comment section, if you believe. So basically, y'all have to understand what you're saying here. If this young man gets off, you're basically setting the stage saying that any one of us, you're saying that anybody who feels the need to go involve themselves in something that has absolutely nothing to do with them, any one of us, you're basically saying that any one of us can get a weapon fully loaded, go and travel to a place, insert ourselves in something that we ain't got nothing to do with, and as soon as we feel threatened in any way, somebody's walking towards us, looking at us wrong, rub up against us or anything, unarmed or armed, it doesn't matter. Unarmed or armed. Are you saying that it's okay for us to insert ourselves in a situation, anybody in the U.S., and just go blow somebody away and expect to be fully exonerated? Raise your hands. Raise your hands in the comment section if you believe that we are all within our rights to set the stage, and go do what this young man did, and we should be fully exonerated. I know I have repeated myself several times, but I'm trying to get y'all to let that sink in, let it soak in. This is the kind of stuff that happens all of the time in this country, but there is a system in place that people refuse to acknowledge as a system that is rotten to the core. Anyway, I'm done with this video. In the comment section, please be sure to keep it tight and keep it right. But until next time, we hope you liked today's topic. Please leave your comments below. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, share it like this video, and with that, we're out. Be sure to ring the bell to be notified of new uploads on this channel, and also comment, share, like, and subscribe.